Welcome back to the 1020 podcast. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Marina, and today we are talking about holiday gift budgets and what we're doing differently this year. Our spaces are meant to be welcoming, comfortable, and reflective of who we are. Whether it's a cubicle, home office, living room, or game room, it's only natural to want to make your space your own. You could go with the big box store art canvases that are mass produced and match whatever's trendy this season, or you could find artwork that truly reflects your interests and passions. Whether you want to represent your inner Whovian, channel Mulan, or remind yourself to grab another cup of coffee, Fandemonium Design has art prints to bring joy to your space, available in a variety of styles and sizes to fit small pockets or a whole wall. Check out the full selection of prints and more at www.fandemoniumdesign.com and follow the adventure on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Vero at Fandemonium Design.
Yeah, so Marina and I both think that there is a lot of pressure around giving good gifts, the best gifts, expensive gifts. But something we were talking about the other day is that what you spend on someone is not correlated at all to how much you care for them. Right?
Right, which is a true fact, but I think, at least for me, I know for the longest time, because gifting wasn't my strong suit, I felt like, oh, I have to spend a lot and make it be this excellent, amazing gift so the people I love know how much I love them.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
Which is
gifting.
obviously a lot.
Yeah, obviously a lot. I'm rich with love, not so much with dollars.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So just to share a little bit of background for me, like growing up in my family, Christmas was like a huge deal. And we always got a lot of presents because we didn't really get them the rest of the year. We grew up without a lot of money for fun and Christmas in our house. And it was often aided financially by family friends who would pitch in for things from Santa, like various programs that would help with gifts and stuff. And for at least for my memory, very little was ever from my parents. It's always from like Santa Claus. And I have always been a big gift giver. I love giving gifts. I find a lot of joy in giving gifts and finding like the perfect gift for someone. But my problem with like the perfect gifts is like it usually ends up being something really expensive or something like I guess not equal to what they would spend on me, basically. So it just ends up feeling like really unbalanced. Like I've never like resented someone for them not giving me an equal gift, but I like wonder if it's like awkward for the receiver to
It
get
is.
more, probably.
Because I love giving gifts when I come up with like the right one. So my gifting style often is on a random Tuesday in September, I'll come across something and say, "Oh, this is perfect." But I don't want to wait for a holiday to gift it. So I'll just give it. And then the holidays come around and I think, shoot, I've got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's like a social currency in gifting that I haven't quite figured out because I remember, I'm just thinking back to my last office job. My boss and all my coworkers gave me little gifts. And I was just like, what? This was not something I prepared for. I'm not paid enough to be able to afford this, to gift you even like small trinkets. Like this isn't, this does not compute. And so I think gifting is very stressful for a lot of reasons, financially, emotionally, and that's why we are doing things different. To give you background on my holiday Christmas experiences, growing up, my parents were divorced, but they lived nearby, so I would have 2 Christmases the same day, and it was just a lot of chaos. And our gifts were never like extravagant, but there were always stockings and like lots of little things to open and a whole drawn out affair. And it was great when you're a kid, but now as an adult, I just want to spend time with my family and friends. So I think that's something I'm focusing on this year because, as you all might be aware, the last 2 years were a little bit strange. And in this economy, trademark, this economy, things are uncertain. So for me, I'm focusing on time.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I'll see if I can find it again and link it in the show notes. But I read something recently that said people who make over, I might be getting this wrong, but it's like 50 or 75,000 or maybe $100,000 a year were planning to cut back on their spending, but
Mm,
people who make less than that were not planning to cut back on their spending for the holidays. And I thought that was
interesting.
really, really interesting. Yeah, because last year I keep a spreadsheet of all my gifts.
Oh, that's smart.
Just for organizational purposes. I've been doing it for years. But
We love a
and
spreadsheet.
I know, like, I track what I bought for each person, who I bought for, so I, like, know the totals. It helps me with, like, budgeting for the year up ahead, that kind of thing. And last year, I spent over $3,000 on gifts, and it was definitely even more than that because I didn't include some of the gifts I bought my kids. And I bought gifts for 47 people, which is just, like, shocking
And
to
my
me,
first
but
thought
it's
is,
like,
do I know 47 people? I
yeah, you
do.
certainly do.
I
But
do.
it's
But
like,
not that I would gift to 47
yeah.
people.
I
That's
mean, it's
impressive.
between our families, like,
You
on
do
each
have a big
side, there's
family.
lots of kids, like, lots of friends who now have kids, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of money, and kind of even more than that for me, last year, I felt very overwhelmed with just, like, the amount of things
That's
that
a lot of stuff.
yeah, I mean, I had to wrap all those gifts, that was a lot, and I don't know. It's really overwhelming. So
Hmm.
this year, something that I'm doing differently is that I'm giving some secondhand gifts, especially to kids. I don't think we always need to go out and buy like new gifts. And for my kids specifically, I think online there's a lot of Instagram parenting accounts, a lot of Instagram parenting websites, whatever. And it's always like, oh, well, like I give my kids 5 things, like something to wear, something to eat, something to play with, something to read, something fun, whatever. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but like like for me, I don't want to give them things to wear for Christmas because like I'm going to buy them new shoes when they need new shoes.
Hmm.
Like I want their Christmas to feel fun and exciting. And so I think we're just going to get them like 3 or 4 toys that we know they'll really love and play with. And like that's it.
Yeah, I've seen that same. It's like something to wear. No, something they want, something they need, something to wear, something to read. And that's a really cool, like, rhyme. But
Mhm.
I think that still puts a lot of pressure on people who feel like they don't have the budget for that, or maybe they have a big family in a small space and they think I can't bring that much more stuff and chaos into my house.
Mhm.
Uh, I love secondhand gifts. I try to shop small in general for my own like clothing and home goods and life and books. So I've also tried to start giving secondhand gifts, and it's an interesting thing. When I started doing it, I felt my first like internal reaction was, "Oh, does this mean I don't love the person enough to get them something new?" And I was just like, "Marina, no. You're if you're intending to give someone a gift, it's because you care about them and you're thoughtfully choosing your values too, because not only am I trying to be mindful of my own budget, I care really deeply about consumption, and
Mhm.
I hate the fact that we just overconsume and send so much to landfills and are are not mindful about the things we have in our home. And
Mhm.
while I can only think about myself for that, like obviously I wouldn't project that on other people, I can at least shop within my value frame. I don't know if that's a
Mhm.
phrase, value frame, but I think that's a big thing for this year is boundaries, like setting boundaries with your budget, setting boundaries with your values, setting boundaries
Mhm.
with maybe the number of people you're shopping for. A couple years ago, let's see, I went to grad school in 2016. So maybe in 2016 or 2017, I don't know. It doesn't matter for the story, but I have 4 siblings. No, I have 3 siblings. There's 4 of us, if I include myself. I have 3 siblings, and they're all married now, and their wives have all been in our lives for a long time. And so at one point, I was buying a gift for both parties of each couple, and I was so overwhelmed because one, I was in grad school and I worked part time. There was not a lot of income happening in my house, in my household. And it was just overwhelming because I was in California and I'd have to fly back with all of these gifts, either in my suitcase or have them shipped to my dad's house. It was just chaotic. And my brothers, are lovely people and their wives are amazing. So I want them to know how much I love them. But I realized those boys all hate shopping. If I suggest that we do a Secret Santa, we can still participate in a sibling exchange, but we all get to shop less. And when I first pitched
Mhm.
this to my biological brother, he was like, "This is the best idea." And I was like, "Okay, great." And so we started doing that. And that has taken so much pressure off of the holidays and gift expectations so that when we get
Mhm.
to share these presents, it's more about the time we're spending together. So
Mhm.
the the first year of the pandemic, I didn't go home. No one did in my family. So we just spent Christmas morning on FaceTime and we were sharing what we had sent each other. And it was really sweet and special because we got to make that
Mhm.
time together rather than, I don't know,
Mhm.
focus so much on like, oh, what'd you get? Who'd you get? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah, we so on my husband's side of the family this year we're doing a Secret Santa.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even have I just like messaged everyone. I was like, "Hey, are you guys down with this? Great." And then I sent them a sign up link and everyone signed up already and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really excited because I mean, not that in my family it would only be like an additional two people to buy for, but like part of it for me is just like there's four grandkids on that side of the family now, and
Mm-hmm.
last Christmas it was like incredibly chaotic because my husband's parents, they are very kind and generous around the holidays, and they tend to spoil the adult children more than the kids, which is like it's very, very nice of
We
them.
love that too.
Yeah, we do. And it's just like last year, I don't even think I saw my in-laws like open any of their gifts just because of the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of like that took away a little bit of the experience for me. So, and also like we're all kind of old now, like we're pretty much almost 30. And
We're all
like
decrepit in our 30s.
yeah, like I'm not putting anything on my wish list that I can't afford or wouldn't buy myself. So it's like weird. I'm like, okay, I'll spend $100 on you and you spend $100 on me. Cool. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's nice, but it's also like I just buy this myself
Yeah.
now. And it's I think that if we do a Secret Santa every year and then have like a theme to it,
Ooh.
I think that would be fun. Like next year I might be like, okay, no gifts over $10. Be
Oh, I
creative.
see.
Or
Yeah.
like a homemade gift this year,
Or like,
secondhand gift this
yeah,
year,
like our small
a
business
board
gift.
game this year, yeah.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah, so I thought,
Ooh.
like, maybe I still have to pitch that to them, I'm pretty sure they'll be down, but putting, like, something consumable, a food on it, like,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing would be really fun over the years and be more about the memories that we make together and the time we spend together than, like, the actual gift. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah. I love themed gifts. I tend to do that. Like last year, I had my brother Peter. Hey, Peter, if you're listening, what's up?
He's
He's not
definitely
listening.
listening.
He might not be listening. His commute is short, and he doesn't listen to podcasts as much as he used to. But last year, I had him, and he loves game nights. And that's something I wish we lived closer and we could do together. So I gave him like a themed gift where I got him a little board game of
Mhm,
I think it's called Mexican dominoes, Mexican train dominoes. It's so fun. I
mhm,
played it at a neighbor's
mhm,
house. Anyway, doesn't matter. But it was a little game and popcorn and like sausage and olives, like so he can make a little cheese
mhm.
board. I should ask
Aw.
him if he ever did played it. But
Oh, he
like
definitely did.
I love themes. And
Yeah, I'm with you.
anyway, so I think for, that's something important we have to recognize as we grow older is
Mhm,
that stuff is just stuff. And
mhm,
while it's great and fun a lot of the times, it's also okay to just want to spend time together.
mhm,
Because I still celebrate two Christmas, one with my dad, one with my mom. And so even though I'm an adult, because my brother and I do uh, Secret Santa with our step siblings, our other brothers, I finally was just like, hey, when we celebrate Christmas at mom's house, let's just not give each other gifts. Let's just like watch a movie together or bake together or spend time. And he was like, this is the man who hates shopping. He was like, excellent idea. This is great. And I just talked to him yesterday and I said, hey, so we're still on for not getting each other gifts this year, right? And he's like, yep, can't wait. I was
mm.
like, okay, great.
Yeah, can't wait.
And so we usually end up watching the same Christmas movie every year. We watch The Muppets Christmas Carol. in my mom's bed because that's where the only VHS player is because we obviously have it on VHS. And that's one
Mhm.
of my favorite Christmas memories. So
Aw.
I think when you're thinking about your gift budget this year, and if you're especially if you're feeling stressed by either the finance or the amount of people you have to find thoughtful gifts for, remember that thoughtfulness doesn't always come in stuff. It can be time spent, it can be making memories together, it can be traditions you start or continue. So, setting those boundaries for yourself in your time and your money and your expectations is really important. And
Mhm.
another thing I've started doing, I have more local friends than I've ever had before. And I've started having conversations with, it's like a little bit awkward, but I can't buy for everyone. And I have very generous friends. So I started saying, hey, uh, like for example, one of my friends is going on a big trip to Europe and I know her budget is tight because she's going on this big trip to Europe. So I said, hey, this year for Christmas, let's not get anything for each other. And she said, great idea. Let's spend time together. So I'm going to go up to Santa Barbara and spend the weekend. I'll visit my mom. I'll get to spend time with her. And we won't have that expectation because we normally would give each other gifts. So
Mhm.
you can gift in different ways, is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
share.
Yeah, take the pressure off. Don't be afraid to have the conversation and don't overspend just because it's the holidays or it's like a good
Mm-hmm.
deal. You I know like as a content creator, I find this time of year very overwhelming
Oh,
because
man.
there's a lot of push and pressure from brands to make sales and do ads and all this stuff and it's like I get it because I mean realistically like no one's making a living if no one's buying anything,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a thing or a service, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I get it, but also I find it very overwhelming, both personally and professionally. And so I just want to take the pressure off all of us this year for not buying gifts. And I think that if you're honest with your friends and family, you'll probably find that there's a pretty positive response overall.
Yeah.
Um, think of other traditions you can start. It doesn't have to be gifts,
It doesn't have to be gifts.
and it doesn't have to be expensive gifts.
Mm-mm. Buying cookie dough at the grocery store, probably less than $5. Great 2 hour memory that you can make right there.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that's a great place to end this, unless you have anything else, Marina.
Just shop small, shop local, shop the
Oh,
capsule
yeah.
collab, whatever
Oh,
floats your
yeah.
boat. But if
We
you're
do
shopping,
we
don't
do own
forget
a gifting business.
we do own a gifting business. But yeah, so take the pressure off yourself and be mindful of what matters most to you. I think is
Yeah,
where I want to end it.
100%. I'm with you.
All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. We will see you next time. And thanks so much. Bye.